Welcome to Magic Beyond the Books. Today we are talking about the zodiac signs of Harry Potter characters. I'm Jess.
And I'm Rene. Warning, there are Harry Potter spoilers from all the books in this episode. So first, I guess, short astrology lesson. We're talking about zodiac signs or sun signs specifically, but you might have heard like sun, and then there's moon, and then rising. So at the top, I think we should kind of just acknowledge that. So sun is based on the location of the sun at your birth. So that's supposed to be who you are at your core, and it dictates where you shine, your ambitions, and your fundamental values. So that's the one we're really going to be focusing on. But for the people that are interested in going deeper, there's also moon, which is based on the location of the moon at the exact time of your birth. So you need to know, like, you know, exactly what, if you're born at like 2:55 p.m. or whatever. So that's how you feel and react internally. It dictates what makes you feel safe, comfortable, and how you react to situations. And then rising is the zodiac sign rising for the eastern horizon at the precise time and location of your birth. Oh, so this is the one with the location, and that's how you behave and appear to others initially. Some call it the mask you wear, first impressions, physical presence, and demeanor. So the moon and the rising, we won't really go into in this episode just because that's like too much for every character, but we'll talk about sun. But for just your reference, I am a Capricorn sun. My moon sign is Cancer, and my rising is Gemini. And what about you, Jess?
I am a Libra sun, a Scorpio moon, and a Cancer rising.
A big question for this episode is definitely, did J.K. Rowling intentionally choose the birthdays based on the zodiac sign? And the answer is yes. J.K. Rowling has openly admitted to using like the influence of astrological signs in her interviews. She said that. And what's also interesting is she has the same birthday as Harry Potter, making them both Leos.
I have some thoughts already. We're not even in this, and I already have thoughts.
Do you want to say them now or later?
I just think Miss Girl, we already talked about this, how Miss Girl just decides to be like, oh yeah, I was thinking of that when I was writing. And like,
oh yeah, she's like adding it later, yeah.
Yeah, half the time I don't think like what she's saying is true because, I mean, you guys will get into it, but just like looking at the list, I think she maybe did it for the main characters. But I don't think she thought intentionally about all the side characters we're going to talk about. Mm-hmm. I think she probably focused on the main characters, and that was it. And
I think that's fair, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely, we'll get into it, but there's a couple characters that I don't think really fit with the sign that their birthdays align with.
Yeah, agreed.
I do think it makes a lot of sense for a main character to be a Leo, which maybe we can talk about later with Leos, but like I think Leos kind of have to be the main character. So I think there's some things that I'm like, okay, maybe that makes sense for the main character of the story that we're reading to be a Leo, right?
Yeah. And I agree, like there's some things about Harry that are Leo, but there's some that are not, so
yeah. And also, I have a special surprise for you for this episode, Jess, as we go along.
Excited. What is it?
So I feel like for this episode, it might be helpful also to refer to other people that are these signs, in addition to Harry Potter characters, just for like the listeners to have for reference, right? Okay. I'm glad you agree with that because we'll see how well I know you. But I went ahead and pulled the zodiac signs of Jess's crushes, both fictional and celebrity.
Oh my God. Wait, I feel very flattered, first of all. Second of all, I know you had a lot of material.
We'll see. We'll see how well I did. I really had to. I did not consult you for this list, so we'll see. But at the top, which category do you think had the most and least crushes as far as air, water, air, earth, and fire are the like?
Okay, so out of the let me. I'm like, this is a lot of pressure.
In this research for you, I was very interested. It was very eye-opening because I thought that you would have crushes in more of a certain category than not. But yeah,
I feel like you might think I have a lot of fire sign crushes, But I think
Okay.
I actually have a lot of it's I don't know, for me it's going to be between air and water, I think. Maybe
Okay.
water. Okay, what was the research?
So my research at the most was water. So you are
Okay.
correct.
Yeah. Makes
The
sense.
least was earth, and you are an
Mhm.
air sign. So I thought that was
Yeah.
interesting.
Mhm. So that yeah, it's very funny just like looking at the three that are in water. I'm like, yeah, those are like pretty much all my exes. That's what I'm going off of.
Yes. Okay. Okay. And I'm not bringing up exes or real people that you've had
Please
relationships with
don't. That's
for your
not that's a
own
different pod. That's a
person.
different
Yeah.
pod.
Yeah. We'll do that outside of the pod. Which sign do you think had the most crushes?
That's like out of water. I'll say Cancer.
Pisces. You had the
Oh,
most
okay,
crushes of
okay. My
any
best friend
in
is a
Pisces.
Pisces, so I mean, I am attracted to that sign.
That tracks, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then there were 3 signs that I didn't have any crushes for you.
Okay, three signs that there were no crushes. Okay. Oof. This is a hard one. I want to say Taurus. I feel like I rarely even meet Tauruses or like I don't really like have a lot of Tauruses in my life. I can name like literally only two. So is
Okay.
Taurus one of them?
No.
Interesting. Aries?
Mm-mm.
Wow, okay, this is hard.
These surprised me. And maybe I'm missing people, but
Not a Capricorn?
a Capricorn's one of them. You don't have any crushes
Okay.
in Capricorn, which is funny. I'm a Capricorn, and I feel
This
like
would
you
be surprising, but maybe Virgo?
correct. That's two. You have got 2 of 3. Virgo
Yeah,
and
that's
Capricorn.
interesting. Okay. And you're saying the other one surprises you as well. Oh, maybe
Yes.
Sagittarius.
No.
Oh, really?
You want me to tell you?
Yeah, is it Leo?
No, it's your own sign, Libra.
But it's funny. I feel like I am attracted to Libra is actually the one that I'm most compatible with, isn't it? Like Libras are most compatible with Libras, which is kind of rare amongst signs.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense. But yeah, at
Yeah.
least from your celebrity and or fictional character
Yeah.
crushes, you don't have any Libras, Virgos, or Capricorns.
Interesting. Dang, this is fun. You should have told me. I would have done yours. But you only have like two celebrity crushes, and I don't care about those.
Yeah, I'm very particular. But yeah, but I'll tell you the people as we go along with the signs too, like who I had for you.
Okay, fun. I love this.
Okay. So we're going to go through the signs by the water category. So we're going to start with air, which air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius.
Mhm. According to astrology.com, air signs are communicative, intellectual, clever, and fair. So within these air signs, there's Gemini. They're known as the twins, is their symbol. The birth dates are May 21st through 20, May 21st through June 21st. Note the exact dates for all the signs vary by source, so take with it what you will, but that's like the main consensus among a lot of different sources. Their traits are curious, quick-witted, and inconsistent. So the for Gemini, we're gonna basically go by sign and talk about what Harry Potter characters are within that sign. So the Harry Potter characters that fit in Gemini, there's only one we have listed. It's actually Draco Malfoy. June 5th is his birthday in the series. So it's interesting thinking of this as, we mentioned the traits curious, quick witted, inconsistent. I would say inconsistent is the most prevalent to me. What would you say about Draco being a Gemini?
Yeah, I mean, the Gemini is like the twins, the dual personality I think of. You know, like I think Draco makes a lot of sense because he's one of the characters that kind of plays both sides, like the good and bad. And I think a lot of people might be tempted to put Snape in this category for that same reason, but we'll talk about him later. And I think his sign still makes a lot of sense for him. But I would say I agree. I think Draco is a Gemini. And things that I've looked up, like Geminis are versatile, bored easily, charming, like salesperson type, but they also can lack persistence and patience. And I feel like Draco is very smart. You know, he does really well in potions. Like, he has some intelligence, and I think he wants to do well. I think that's why he wants to join the Death Eaters. But I also think he has a lot of like faults, and he's not really like fully committed to the Death Eaters, right?
So, are you counting quick-witted as intelligence? Would you say quick-witted is the same as intelligence, I guess is the question.
I guess not necessarily. Quick-witted might be like he comes up with like quick comebacks and things, which I think we kind of see.
Yeah.
And there's a couple times where him and Harry have like little duels or like little fights where they like cast spells at each other, and he's pretty quick with that. So I guess, and I think that comes with
he can duel, so I would say that. What's funny is when I read this category, I actually think of the real twins, like Fred and George. Like, I think they should be Geminis. Yeah. The only thing I wouldn't agree with is inconsistent, because they're pretty, you know, very, very loyal, and they are sticking by everything that they do with, you know, their empire.
Yeah.
But I feel like everything else is accurate, like curious, quick-witted, that sales type personality, like you were saying, like the twins, very, you know, I think that they fit very well in this category. So I was surprised to not see them as Geminis.
Yeah, that is interesting. And their birthday is April 1st, which we'll get into them later. And I feel like I feel like their sign is just to put them on being born on April Fool's Day more than anything. Yeah.
Again, proving that J.K. Rowling just says shit. But
it's not like totally true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to know your crushes in the Gemini category?
I do. I really do.
So, first one, the fictional character Damon Salvatore from Vampire Diaries. He was born on June 18th, 1839, making him a Gemini, which makes a lot of sense. And then what's very interesting is Christian Grey from 50 Shades of Grey, another fictional character. He was born on the same day, June 18th, but 1983. So, same birthday.
Did you count Christian Grey as one of my crushes and you looked it up? Or was that just like on the internet?
Yeah, no, I know you read the book, or are there books? I know that you've read 50 Shades of Grey. I don't know if he's really a crush of yours.
Yeah, I've read 50 Shades of Grey. I mean, he's in the books, he's kind of a crush of mine, but he's also like very emotionally damaged, so probably not in real life. You know me, I'd probably avoid that situation. I just wanted to make a note. If Jon Snow is not on this list,
then I messed up.
Yes.
Okay, Jon Snow. If
we're doing fictional characters,
or like Kit Harington.
Oh my god, honestly, both. But Jon Snow most likely. But it's funny because I'm like, I didn't realize you were pulling from fictional characters as well. So this is now a very, very extensive list.
Well, not all fictional characters. Their birthdays aren't all known and everything, so
true.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, very fun. I love this. Make it about me. I love it.
Okay. But yeah, Draco's the only one, so there's not too much on Gemini. Is there anyone else you think should be a Gemini that isn't?
No, that was the only one that really stood out to me was Fred and George. I feel like everybody, I mean, maybe even Harry, but I feel like Harry fits in so many of these. So, you know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. So next is Libra, which is your sign.
Libra, we're known for balance, the scales. That's our symbol. The birth dates are September 23rd through October 23rd. My birthday is October 14th, if anybody wants context. So I'm kind of like smack dab in the middle, or like closer on the October side. I'm an October Libra, which is a huge thing in the Libra community. Just so y'all know, September Libras are a different category. Just kidding. We love all Libras. Our traits are diplomatic, cooperative, and indecisive. Very true. So there's actually a fair amount of Harry Potter characters. We have Garrick Ollivander, September 25th. Professor Quirrell, September 26th. Minerva McGonagall, October 4th. Professor Phileas Flitwick, and he's October 17th. There's a few characters who are in the maybe category. We don't have an exact birth date for them, but we like hear of their birthday within these time frames. So there's Angelina Johnson, the third week of October. She's either a Libra or a Scorpio, depending on where her birthday falls. And then Cedric Diggory, he's either a Libra or a Virgo, which I was proud to see because I love me some Cedric Diggory.
Yeah, we know that they're both 17 by the cutoff. I think it was Halloween or something for the Triwizard Tournament, and they like referred to their birthdays a little bit. So they've got to be somewhere in there. And we can, as we go, we could say what we think. I don't know if we know enough about them, but.
Yeah. I will just point out this list proves that September Libras are a little different from October Libra.
Yeah, because what is that? Ollivander and Quirrell are September.
Are in the same category as McGonagall and Flitwick.
Yeah.
I just feel like those are different categories.
Definitely different. So what do you think about all of them? Like, do you think they fit? You are a Libra, and I feel like Libras are one of the most difficult signs for me to understand.
So I want to like kind of go a little bit more in depth of Libra just because I am a Libra. So we're actually, I went by like, I was doing some research and like looked up like the planets that they were ruled by. So we're ruled by Venus, which is for love, beauty, and relationships. So that is kind of like where our focus goes, or like, I think like that influences a lot. And like our vibe is like, hey, like, let's make sure we all get along. Like, we're almost known as like the people pleasers or the peacemakers, which is, I agree with that. And to a certain extent, right? Some strengths I found were charming, socially skilled, diplomatic, and fair-minded, great at seeing multiple perspectives, appreciates beauty, aesthetics, and balance, usually easy to talk to, right? So I would agree with all of those as a Libra. Challenges is where I think is very funny. Indecisive, sometimes painfully so. Yes, I can very much agree with that. Can avoid conflict even when it's necessary. This, I'm kind of like, I will definitely, if it's a situation I really care about, if I feel like it's detrimental to my relationship with someone, if it is like I will actually confront a situation. So I'm not going to avoid necessarily. The only times I will avoid conflict if it's like really like, well, I don't need to say that. Like, I need to save face with this person, so I'm just going to like keep quiet. Which is funny because the next bullet point is may prioritize keeping the peace over being honest. So it is kind of like little, it's almost like little white lies, because it's something that I'm like, I could contribute to this and say this thing, but it might end up hurting this person more than helping them. So I'm going to keep it to myself.
Okay.
Whereas I knew you as a Capricorn would say the thing.
Yeah, I think I definitely, if we're talking about like our level of confrontational, I would be more on the confrontational side.
Yeah. So those were kind of like, I feel like I wanted to give you a little bit more of like why I feel like, to just deeper understand like a Libra, and like all of those things are what I kind of identify with and can see. What were you kind of confused about with Libras?
Well, I think, you think of Libras as being very thoughtful and fair. And like you said, like considering all the perspectives. And I think the scales were throwing me off because you're like, oh, Libra's all about balance. But then I did read something that said that they're constantly trying to find harmony and balance by jumping from one extreme to another. And so like if you think of old fashioned scales, if you ever use them in like science class or something, you're putting a little bit of weight and then this side falls down and then you put more weight, and you're trying to find the actual balance between the two. So you might shift from extremes. And I think that was kind of like confusing me because you think of them as being associated with balance. But also finding balance means jumping. And I think you do that. I think of that with you where you might be like, oh, I need to work on my own self self-care and taking time for myself, and you might jump to that for a little while, but then you're like, oh, but I want to spend time with friends, and then you do that to the extreme until you get kind of burnt out, and then you need to work on yourself again, kind of, you know?
Damn, that's a good example. Because I was gonna say, oh, I don't really agree with that, and then I'm like, wait, you're right, I do that. Like, I feel like I'm like, when I hit an extreme, I completely shut down. Like, this is like, that's how I am emotionally. Like, when I get to a breaking point, I go the complete opposite way, to where I completely shut down. Like, when I get super emotional about something, I almost have a breaking point where I cry, or I have an outburst, or like need a venting session. And then after that, I'm like, okay, I need to go take a depression nap for like 3 hours and like disassociate with everybody. So that's interesting.
You're like resetting your scales. Like you literally have the limit of the scale, and then it's like, has to go back.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So yeah, I don't know. In some ways, I felt like Libra reminded me of Gemini, because Gemini is like the twins and the opposites, and I feel like Libra was like finding the balance between two sides.
I think I'm very compatible with Gemini. My 3 most compatible are Libra, Gemini, and Virgo, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah, and as far as the Harry Potter characters, and again, like, I didn't think I was an expert on this, but the big one that stood out to me that I felt like did not fit in this category was McGonagall. I felt like to me, McGonagall is a Taurus, actually, and like, she's just very like consistent. There's literally a quote from the book that's, he had expected Professor McGonagall to be there, irascible and inflexible perhaps, but always dependably, solidly present. And that, like, that description felt very Taurus to me. I feel like she's very consistent. I don't think she's like a jump to the extremes to find balance person. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on her?
I also do not believe she would be a Libra, which again is like, I think maybe J.K. Rowling thought about it a lot for the main characters. I just don't really see her as being a Libra, because everything we just described about how, we kind of like go to extremes. I think she very much like keeps the level, if that's good to say. I don't even know like how to describe it. Like, she's very status quo, like, let's stick to the rules, and so, like, she's like doesn't like rule breakers and stuff like that, which I feel like if she was a true Libra, she would be like bending it to like save face and like save a relationship. Like, oh, I'm not gonna give you guys detention, like, just make sure you get back to your dorm. Like, no, she's gonna follow the rules and like make sure you're kind of. So I would agree with Taurus. I also am thinking a little bit of Aquarius, because I know we're getting into it later, but she's like intellectual, independent, detached, which is kind of like, she can definitely detach herself from these kind of like categories of, or like detach herself from the relationship that she has with a student, to like being the head person to enact rules and things like that.
Take control and stuff.
What is her position? What would we call her?
She's the transfiguration teacher, but she's also the deputy headmistress.
Okay.
And so I know like
Dumbledore's second in command.
Yeah, like, she's the one that sends out the letters to the students to tell them that they're like invited to go to Hogwarts. And I think I think it's implied that there's a little bit more like administrative tasks that fall under her, being like Dumbledore's second in command.
Yes, yeah, which makes sense.
And she's like the head of the Gryffindor house. So I think same with Flitwick, he's another Libra. So they're both heads of houses. So I think that like elevates them, just like Snape, just like Professor Sprout. But then like McGonagall's another step up because she's deputy headmistress. And then like if something was to happen with Dumbledore, like, she's first in command.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the fairness and stuff, it makes sense for like Cedric Diggory being like, when Harry helps him with the Triwizard Tournament, he wants to help him back, I think. And Ollivander maybe with the whole like, I think he sees and respects like the power of Voldemort a little bit, and maybe it has like a fascination with wands that doesn't really put him on a side, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say the only Libras I truly do see on this list would be Ollivander and Diggory.
Yeah.
Like the rest, I don't really know if I'd agree that they are Libras.
Yeah. Yeah, like Angelina Johnson maybe fits more into Scorpio.
I just really don't know enough about her other
Yeah, we
than what I
don't.
read in fan fiction.
Yeah, we don't get too much. And
Oh my
Quirrell, he's
god, wait, that would
only.
be a good episode talking about Harry Potter fan fiction.
Oh my gosh, that's like a whole nother world. That wouldn't even be one
Yeah,
episode.
that's what I
Like
mean. Like,
you could do so much, especially
yeah.
like the whole Draco Hermione is like a whole subset
Oh
of
my
the fan
god, don't
fiction.
even. The Hermione fans make me want to off myself, but
I don't understand it, but I think I need to give it a shot, I guess, and see
Mhm.
what they're even reading. But yeah, I
It's
don't
a lot of
know.
abuse, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And then, but back to Libras, Quirrell, I think we just don't get too much on him either. And like most of the time he's pretending and working with Voldemort. So it's like kind of hard to really know his like real personality, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, should we go to Aquarius?
Yeah. So Aquarius are water bearers. I don't even know what symbol that is, so I probably should look that up. January 20th to February 18th is the birthday. This is actually my mom's sign.
Okay.
And traits are independent, intellectual, and detached. The Harry Potter characters are Gilderoy Lockhart, lol. His birthday was January 26th. Lily Potter, January 30th. Arthur Weasley, February 6th. And Luna Lovegood, February 13th. I love that her birthday is close to Valentine's Day.
Yeah. I was looking at the symbol. It looks like when it's depicted, it's like a pot pouring out water, or it might be like a man or a woman holding a pot pouring out water, or just general like water, like waves, sort of.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I see. I've seen the two like lines, like the squiggles.
It's kind of like two lightning bolts, but they're horizontal, like indicating like waves or water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the things that I found for Aquarius were like inquisitive, misunderstood, free-spirited, and friendly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know a lot of Aquariuses, actually, in my real life.
I always felt like Aquarius sign people were easy to spot because they're the type of people that not only aren't bothered by being seen as weird, but kind of like relish in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think of the Aquarius as the person that like wears a banana suit to school just to be like funny.
Yeah.
Like, like that's how I would describe them.
I'd say too, it's like they're almost like they don't care like about those things because they don't care in general about other people's like perception of them.
Yeah, which would super track for Luna Lovegood. Like that is like her personality. Like she is living her life, being herself, does not care that people think whatever about her. Like she's just very like self-possessed.
Yeah, I would agree. Definitely. I think Luna fits in this category.
I think Arthur, it kind of makes sense with him like being into muggle stuff and being kind of like against the grain, against the norm. I don't think we know his birthday, but I wouldn't be surprised if Dobby was an Aquarius because he seems like he's very like idealist, freedom associations, and like going against the norm.
Okay. I think we do have Dobby on this list later.
Oh, okay. Maybe we do know his birthday. But yeah, I guess I see him as an Aquarius. And then what do you think about Lockhart for this one?
I don't agree. Because I don't think that I mean, apart from being like super not caring about what other people think, I guess. Well, I don't know, but and in reality he cares a lot about what people think because he created this whole image for himself. So yeah, no, I don't really think that he fits in this category. I think he's more
like Leo or something.
I'm trying to like think. Yeah, probably Leo. Maybe Aries.
Oh yeah, I can see Aries for him for sure. I feel like Aries are very about like their awards and how they're perceived.
Yeah.
Do you want to know your crushes for Aquarius?
Yeah.
Okay, so for this one I have Paul Mescal, which he's the actor. He's in Gladiator 2, Normal People. He's February 2nd, 1996.
Oh my god.
And then the second one is Hudson Williams from Heated Rivalry and Moonlight. His birthday's February 13th,
Cutie
2001.
patootie. Cutie patootie. So it's funny because both of them definitely fit this Aquarius energy.
Yeah, they have Aquarius vibes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Especially Paul Mescal. Because he's very, I feel like he's so grounded for being a celebrity.
And I was trying to look it up while we were talking Jon Snow. I don't know if his birthday is known, so I don't know if I put him in here.
Dang, yeah. Yeah, no, it's okay. I just was thinking about him the other day.
Oh, Jon Snow or Paul Mescal? Or both?
Jon Snow. And yeah, I think about them constantly. You know, I think about all my crushes constantly. But yes, I do agree that both of them fit into this category.
And little connection, Jon Snow is played by Kit Harington, which in the new audiobook, he voices Gilderoy Lockhart, who is an Aquarius. But I think that's so funny to me. I can't remember if I've talked about this on the episode, but Kit Harington playing Gilderoy or doing the voice for Gilderoy Lockhart, I thought was so odd because I think of him as Jon Snow and having this like deep, rough voice. But I listened to book 2 and he did such a good job. He does this like very like flamboyant kind of extra voice. So maybe check out book 2 with him. I thought he was one of my favorite people that's done a voice that I've listened to so far. I'm on book 4 now.
That's, I mean, he's got range, baby. That's
apparently.
And I did look it up. Kit Harington, guess what, is a Capricorn.
Oh, okay. So you do have a Capricorn.
Yeah, he's a December Capricorn.
Interesting. I do feel like there's a difference between December Capricorns and January. I'm a January Capricorn.
Yeah. Interesting. Fun.
Okay, do you want to do water signs now? So that wraps up air.
Mm-hmm. You go ahead.
So water signs, according to astrology.com, water signs are emotional, empathetic, receptive, feel things deeply. And the signs that fit under that are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. The fact that Aquarius is not a water sign always confuses me because they're so associated with water. Mm-hmm. But it makes sense that they fit into air. So first is Cancer, which their like symbol is the crab, and it's June 22nd to July 22nd. Traits are loyal, protective, and moody. And Harry Potter characters that fall under that are Dudley Dursley, which is June 23rd, and Dobby, who's June 28th. Okay, so we do have a sign for Dobby. He's the crab Cancer.
Yeah. Funny, this is the sign that has ruined my life. Yeah, no. I for some reason, I'm always like, whenever I have like a weird like situationship thing going on, I'm like, when's your birthday?
You're like,
and it's always in the summer, and I'm like, oh Jesus, yeah. So anyway,
I do think of Cancers as being just like I think of these as the emotional sign, like deeply emotional, very sensitive, maybe can be a little pessimistic.
Yeah, I think pessimistic is a good one. I think very like introspective in a way that's not healthy.
They can go a little bit like too deeply emotional. I think as someone who's an earth sign and a Capricorn, I kind of, people being super emotional is like in something that is hard for me to deal with. So I think in some ways, Cancer to me, it's like a little bit of a red flag, but I do have like great friends that are Cancers and like people in my life that are Cancers that I've loved deeply. But so it's so funny because I think the emotional thing is just like hard for me personally.
Well, it makes sense because I mean I always like to think of like the signs as elements and like really like earth, right? You're very very grounded, right? And you kind of like don't let emotion move you. But then water cuts through earth, you know what I mean, with their intense emotions, and they kind of disrupt your grounding. So I just think that's like kind of funny too, like thinking about how the elements interact with each other. Because I feel like air, we're all kind of up in the clouds. Nothing can really bother us, So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And what do you think about Dudley and Dobby? Like, do you think they fit Cancer?
So it's like, in some ways, I think Dobby can fit in this category. I think he has traits of a lot of different categories, though. So I would agree putting Dobby here. He's loyal and he's protective. And of course, he's moody. I think all house elves are kind of moody. You know who would be so fun to think about? Winky. Do you remember the house elf
Yes,
Winky?
she's very emotional. Yeah.
Yeah, just funny. I just always think about her like bursting into tears randomly and then like drinking away her problems with like butterbeer or something. And them all like shunning her for doing that. So that anyway, just thinking about like, well, I wonder what her sign would be. Probably Cancer.
Yeah.
So Dobby, yeah, I do think he fits somewhat. Dudley, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, Dudley, I'm not sure about this
Maybe
one.
moody for sure because he's like throwing a tantrum every 2 seconds, but definitely not loyal or protective. He like ran away from danger and like left Harry to die. So, and then Harry still saved him. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not like sure about Dudley. And Dudley, I think there's a lot of deeper things there that, maybe could be explored, but I don't know. He's a hard one, and I don't really see Cancer for him.
mm-hmm. Well, I was just so curious about what my celebrity crushes are in this category.
Oh, I only had one, and I'm not really sure about this one, but Still Woozy, the singer-songwriter,
Oh, yeah.
June 23rd, 1992.
Oh my Shayla. Yeah, he would ruin my life.
That tracks for Cancer.
Yeah, it does track. He is moody. His music is very moody, so.
Yeah, right?
And he's loyal, and he loves his wife so much. It's so cute. So yeah, I would agree with this.
Okay. And then we have Scorpio next, that's also in water. Scorpios are the Scorpion. It's October 24th to November 21st. So you're like close to this, a little like close to Scorpio. And the traits are passionate, resourceful, and jealous. And the Harry Potter characters are Molly Weasley and Sirius Black.
Mm-hmm. I have a lot of like conflicting thoughts about Scorpios because my moon is Scorpio. So technically, what was the thing at the beginning? Wait, let me go read it. Technically, this is how I feel and react internally, and it dictates what makes you feel safe, comfortable, and how to react to situations. So it's funny because I never thought, like, I felt like I don't really get along with Scorpios. That was like the biggest like thing that I knew. Like as soon as the Libra season is done and Scorpio season, I'm like, and get away from me. But it's funny because I don't know, really like opening up and like thinking more about it, I do agree that I'm a Scorpio moon because I kind of like, one time I heard this, and I don't know if it was with you that I heard this, but I just always, it's how I think about things of like when someone like betrays you or something, it's like you will forgive, but you will never forget. So it's like, that's definitely how I feel internally. I feel like I'm definitely quick to forgive someone when they do me wrong or like apologize for something that they've done. I'm like, yeah, that's, I get it. You had like an outburst, or I get we all have bad days, but I'm never, ever, ever going to forget how you made me feel in that moment. So it's like, and that goes into the holding grudges because I know like Scorpios are definitely known for holding a grudge. And I feel like I can hold a grudge in a certain way to where it's like, and again, this is the Libra coming out, or where also I'm a Cancer rising. So then I can also see me being like kind of, it's almost like people would think I'm two-faced because I'm going to keep the relationship, steady. Like if you still want to talk to me, be my friend, be in my life, sure, I'll like interact with you, right? And I'll keep that, but I'm never going to consider you one of my really, really close friends because I know what you're capable of, basically.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I definitely think of Scorpios, like what I associate most with Scorpios is that like vengeful, like holding grudges side. I also think they can be loyal, and I think there's something about Scorpio where they like, I wrote delights in seeming mysterious. Like, I think this is the type of sign that will go, you'll never be able to guess what sign I am kind of person. Like I think they want to be like a little bit of a mystery. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Yeah, I think that it's funny because I feel like they would think that, but I don't think they would say that.
Yeah,
I
maybe
think they'd
not.
be like, this person's not going to get my sign. Like, there's no way. Like, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I'm not so sure about like Molly being a
Hmm.
Scorpio.
I would say passionate and resourceful. Well, I don't know. I kind of
Maybe,
jealous.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like she's very like protective of Arthur and like, I think, yeah, I would see that. I would see it, honestly.
Yeah, and I think she like, she has her like vengeance on like Bellatrix and stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then Sirius probably tracks for being a Scorpio.
Hmm.
He has that like air of mystery and kind of
I would,
like
yeah, yeah. I agree. Like, I agree with this list. Like, I think that Sirius could be seen as a Scorpio. I think he fits very well within Leo as well, though. I
yeah.
see him as a Leo.
Yeah, are Scorpios like I think they're associated with being loyal, and I think of Sirius as
Mhm.
being like extremely loyal to a default. So whatever
Mhm.
signs kind of fit with that would
Yeah.
track for me.
Yeah, definitely Scorpio. And then I forgot I did also look up Scorpios because I remember you had a question about that. So strengths, passionate and intensely loyal, determined and resilient, emotionally deep, excellent at reading people and doesn't give up easily. Their challenges, they're secretive, can hold judges, may struggle with trust. Intensity can sometimes become possessiveness or jealousy. So
Hmm.
that's where the jealous comes in. Is like it's really the intensity of their emotions like.
That makes sense. And it's funny because Molly and Sirius kind of seem to be like a little jealous of each other with their whole and like a little possessive
Mhm.
over Harry because they both
Mhm.
see themselves as a parental figure to Harry.
100%. Yeah, that's what's also funny about this is they're not like Molly and Sirius do have some beef in the series.
Yeah.
So it's funny that they are both Scorpios.
Yeah, they butt heads a little bit. And what was really interesting when you said that they can read people, and I think that really tracks. I don't necessarily think that it doesn't track for Molly, but I think we get a lot of exposure to that tracking for Sirius
Hmm.
because especially in the books, which I don't think you get so much in the movies, but in the books, like Harry's writing to Sirius and telling him about everything that's going on in book 4 and 5. And Sirius gives him a lot of insights about people like Umbridge, like Moody, like Crouch. And like when they're trying to figure out who put Harry's name into the Goblet of Fire, he's talking to Sirius a lot, and Sirius is like, making guesses about people. Like a big person is Igor Karkaroff, but then Sirius is saying like that doesn't really track for Igor because why would he do stuff for Voldemort when he's betrayed him? Like I think Sirius is really good at explaining and kind of like interpreting people and maybe their motivations.
Yeah, I can see that. But I also think that Molly is good at reading her children really well. Like, I think
Yeah.
but I don't know. But then she kind of like ignores Ron. It's like she's good at knowing what people need, I would say, in a moment of like, in the terms of like being a caregiver. Because kind of like what we explained last episode was how she gives or Harry a family heirloom and she
hmm
gives Ron something new because she knows that that is both what the other would appreciate.
Yeah, like she gives them what they need. I think that there's a big thing in the Harry Potter fandom that Molly ignores Ron, and I don't think that it is there so much. Like there's a lot of things that she does in the book that I think she doesn't necessarily neglect Ron. Like I think there's the strap. She's financially strapped and she has a lot of kids, so there's the
Mhm.
realities of that.
Mhm.
But like you said, giving him the watch when he becomes a prefect, she really celebrates that, and
Mhm.
she buys him a broomstick as his present for becoming a prefect. I think in some ways she sees Percy and kind of comes to Percy's defense against the twins. So I
Mhm.
think she like sees her children, and there's a lot of like little stuff. And I think there's a lot we're not seeing too.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
also think that something that's kind of an unspoken thing is Ron is definitely speaking to his parents because his parents are privy to a lot of information about Harry that they would be getting from nowhere else but Ron. So I think
Mhm.
there must be some level of comfort with Ron going to his mom and telling her about what's going on with Harry
Mhm.
and his concerns about Harry with the Dursleys or like what's going on in Harry's life.
Mhm. For sure. I mean, because that's the whole reason whenever they go and rescue him with like the car and everything, she's not like upset about it. Like she's like, well,
Yeah.
she's upset about that they did that, right? Like with the car and everything, but she's not upset that Harry's there. Like she's always like, no, we're gonna take care of you. You know.
Yeah, like they would have gotten him if the kids didn't get
Mhm.
him.
And
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I think like in her mind, she would have been like, if she did have a problem with that or didn't know what was going on with the Dursleys, she would have been like, why did we take you away from your aunt and uncle? You know what I mean? Like they're probably worried sick, blah blah blah. But in reality,
Yeah.
she's like, well, you're staying here for the rest of summer. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a moment in the books, I think, or maybe multiple moments where she goes to Dumbledore and like seriously asks him if they can just take him in. Like why does he have to go back to the Dursleys? And I don't know if Dumbledore really explains it to her,
Mhm.
but basically that gets shut down. But I honestly think she like is trying to do everything she can for Harry.
Yeah. I think maybe it is explained at some point because she is a part of the order, you know. So it's like she can be trusted with that information about like the love protection or blood protection, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
Um so I think
She
like
can be trusted.
hopefully.
Does
Yeah.
Dumbledore share information with people? I
Yeah,
think
I
that's
guess that's yeah. Yeah. What would Dumbledore be? Wait, do we have that on here?
yeah. I don't think we know his birthday,
Okay.
but yeah. But do you want to know your Scorpio crushes?
Yes.
Okay. First and foremost, Rhysand from Akatar, fictional
Mm,
character. He was born on November 20th, making him a Scorpio.
interesting.
And then Taron Egerton, if I'm saying that right, from like Rocket Man and Kingsman. He's like an actor. I feel like we've talked about him before. He's a Scorpio, born on November 10th, 1989.
I feel like that's more of your crush than my crush.
I thought you brought him up one time
I
in an
did,
episode.
but I did, but he's not I wouldn't say he's like one of my prevalent crushes, but he
He's
is
not one of
cute.
the main
I'm not
ones, yeah.
upset by it. I'm not upset by it, but it's just interesting because I wouldn't count him as one of my celebrity crushes.
Okay, well, here's one that I know that you find attractive is McKenyu from who's Zorro in One
Oh my.
Piece. His birthday is November 16th, 1996.
Yeah, very much. Yes. Did you watch the second season? It's so good.
No, I'm so
It's
behind.
so
I have
good. I
like
need you
a
to watch
long
it.
list of things I need to watch.
Yeah, but it's very good. But yes, McKenyu, yes. Rowan Zora.
I love him
Okay.
as Zorro.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think that wraps up Scorpio. Do you want to go to Pisces?
Yeah.
So Pisces is the fish. It's February 19th to March 20th. Traits are artistic, compassionate, and escapist. The Harry Potter characters, there's actually a good number. There's Newt Scamander, 224, February 24th. Ron Weasley is March 1st. Sybil Trelawney is March 9th. And then Remus Lupin is March 10th. So they're all Pisces.
Very, very vast categories of people here.
Yeah, big range here. Pisces, I feel like Pisces is kind of like Aquarius a little bit. I think if as a Capricorn, if I had to pick my polar opposite sign, I would say Pisces. Do you think that's accurate?
Yeah, I would say so. That or like something like Cancer or Libra, honestly.
Yeah, Pisces, I did find that, so I did additional research. I found that Pisces represents death and consciousness of the soul. This is like, they seem very like woo woo, artistic, avoidant, old souls, compassionate, funny. And like, I think of Pisces as the starving artist type. Like they're just very like artistic, very in their like, whatever, in the woo woo, which is like very, you will never find like a starving artist Capricorn, I feel like
Yeah,
that's
well,
just like so not gonna ever happen.
yeah.
They like, my sign just craves stability way too much that I think like Pisces being so like fluid is just like throws me off, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would like I mean, I think I know a lot of Pisces, but my best friend is a Pisces and I would agree with a lot of this stuff, except she's a little bit more grounded. She's not like the woo woo. So, but it's funny because I would see like in this category, Newt Scamander and Sybil Trelawney very much fits the woo woo category. And it's funny because I would also put Luna in this category if she wasn't earlier on this list.
Yeah.
So I think she would also fit in Pisces, just based on what we know about her. It's funny that Ron is in this category to me. I wouldn't
Mhm.
really, I mean, I can see compassionate, but I don't see artistic or escapist.
Yeah. The only thing I could think of with like escapist kind of or or I think about like him being avoidant.
Avoidant.
When
Yeah.
he gets in fights with his friends, he like doesn't talk to them. Like that's his
Mm-hmm.
way of fighting. Like that's what happens with him with
Yeah.
Harry. That's what happens with him with
Yeah.
Hermione. He is like just like gets away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would say I fit, I mean, I see Ron as more of a Cancer because of the loyal, protective, moody. Very
Yeah, I think
moody.
that's fair.
And he is loyal.
Yeah, he is like supposed to be funny. I think like Ron is very
Mm-hmm.
associated with funny, especially in the books. Like he's kind of always like cracking jokes and
And do you think that's like the escapist part of like he's kind of like,
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think and I think that Ron is somewhat associated with like laziness a little bit. Maybe laziness is a strong word, but let's say out of the trio, he's the least strong in school. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like he seems the least like bookish
Mm-hmm.
and you know him and
Mm-hmm.
Harry have a lot of scenes where they're like making up assignments or just trying to do the bare minimum
Mm-hmm.
for their
I was
assignments.
about to say because lazy fits in that category. It's not like Ron. I don't think Ron's like dumb though. Like it's
No,
not
no,
like
no,
he's
no. Yeah,
trying in school and he's failing. It's more so he doesn't try, therefore he fails. And so that's
exactly.
what's like because it's like he's like last minute, like yeah, like copying Hermione's notes or like Hermione like literally writes a whole paper for him at one point. So it's like yeah.
Yeah. To be super clear, I feel like the movies make him out to be like way more dumb, but I
Mhm.
don't think Ron's unintelligent.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think I don't know, there's some like fluidity to Ron where he's just kind of like he is like the friend. He is what you need in the moment. He's very good with Harry where he's like, you know, he's a good listener when he needs to be listened to. And when Harry needs someone to stand up for him, he's like standing up to
Mhm.
Seamus when he's like when Seamus is going after Harry, he's like standing up for him.
Mhm.
So there's like I can see the like fluidity of Pisces in that where Ron is kind of like he can be who he needs to be for the people that need him. But
Mhm.
I don't know. Ron's kind of a hard one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's one of those ones that fit in multiple categories.
Yeah. And then what
And
do you
then
think about
Lupin.
Lupin?
I don't know. I also don't agree. I see Lupin as kind of like maybe a Capricorn. No, I wouldn't say Capricorn. I'd say definitely, I would say he fits more in earth signs because I feel him as being very grounded and not letting a lot affect him. Like he's going to do the hard stuff to get them where they need to be and like do what they need to do. You know what I mean? Because he has his whole, his changing into a werewolf every month thing. And he
Yeah.
doesn't really he always tries to not make that anybody else's problem. And he is almost like cuz I remember okay, the whole story of Lupin, right? The Whomping Willow is on campus. They never talk about this in the movies. The Whomping Willow is on campus. Well, I guess it's kind of I don't know. I don't think they go
I
into
don't think
depth
they address
about
a lot of his backstory. Yeah.
yes, yeah. So the whole reason that the Whomping Willow is on campus is so Lupin could go to school at Hogwarts because once a month he would sneak into the Shrieking Shack and transform, and anybody who would try to, get near the tunnel to the Shrieking Shack by the Whomping Willow would be whomped, right? So it
It
was
would
to
be
protect
whomped.
it would be whomped. It was to protect people, and even like then when Dumbledore came to I guess Lupin's family and was like, I want to do this for him. And
Hmm.
like and they were kind of he was kind of like, this is like going out of people's way. I'm putting people in harm's way because I'm still going to be on Hogwarts grounds, like I think that he was even like, is this safe for other people to be around me? So I think
Hmm.
he's very like protective of other people in that way. Like he doesn't want to make his problems anybody else's problems or like possibly hurt someone.
Yeah. I mean, I can see the avoidance thing with him because the whole, which is not addressed in the movies, him trying to basically
His
leave
relationship.
Tonks, him trying to not be in a relationship with Tonks at first, and then him trying to leave her when she's gonna have their baby.
Yeah, and then oh god, I love that scene though when Harry gets so mad at him.
Yeah, but yeah, do you want to know your Pisces crushes? All right, I'm not sure about these ones. Connor Story, he's also the other guy from Heated Rivalry. His birthday's February 22nd, 2000.
Cute.
And then Jack Harlow, rapper and singer, is March 13th, 1998. I feel like, I don't know, there's like maybe something there. And then the last person is like Bad Bunny, also a musician, March 10th, 1994. These guys, some of these people are like so young too. I'm like,
yeah, it's just really funny the people you picked. And it's like, obviously I'm like, yeah, I can see why she picked that. You know what I mean? So funny. Bad Bunny, he's recent. He's a recent crush of mine.
He's a new one. All right, should we get into fire signs?
Yes. So fire signs, according to astrology.com, fire signs are strong, self-assured, creative, and fun. This is Aries, Leos, and Sagittarius. So we'll start with Aries. Their symbol is the ram. Their birthdays are March 21st through April 19th. The traits are energetic, courageous, impulsive. The Harry Potter characters in this category are James Potter, March 27th, Fred and George Weasley, April 1st, and then exact date is unknown, Teddy Lupin. He is either an Aries or a Taurus.
Yeah, and we don't really know too much about Teddy, so I don't think we can really talk about him.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on Aries? Aries is not my favorite sign. I'm gonna make some enemies of some listeners, but Aries, I feel like not. You talk about Cancer as being your red flag in men. I think when I hear that a man is Aries, that's a red flag to me.
It's funny because I don't think I know any Aries. Like I'm not even kidding you. I don't think I have an Aries in my life, like that. Like I know people, but they're not close in my network. Like they're not my everyday friends.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I'm even trying to think, I'm like, whose birthday falls in this category? I'm like really trying to think, and I'm so sorry if any of my friends listen to this episode and you're an Aries, like please text me, because I really don't think that I know any Aries. But anyway, that being said, I also agree that I don't think I would be very well. Maybe that's why is because I meet an Aries and I'm like, ew, I don't want you in my network. Because I like the energetic. I would agree with courageous and impulsive. I'm impulsive in the sense that like, oh, I feel like going to get like a Starbucks drink today. Like that's my impulsivity, right?
It's not like crazy.
Yeah. Like I'm not about to go, hey, let's just like buy a ticket to Six Flags and drive 3 hours together. Like hell no, I'm not doing that. Right. Yeah. So that's what I think an Aries would do.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that James Potter is in this category to me because I do believe like he was kind of like a bully in school. And I can see that energy coming out in this manner.
Yeah.
Fred and George Weasley, I think she probably just made it to where their birthday was April Fool's because she thought that was a fun little nod.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would really, I mean, impulsive would be good for them because of like, I just think of the scene where they set off the fireworks during OWLs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's courageous and I think that's energetic. So maybe they do fit in this category. But I think they're more likable than the traditional Aries.
Agreed. Yeah. When I looked up more stuff about Aries, I like the descriptions I found were like fearless, honest, likes to be in charge, but a bit naive. And I think there's like a lot of naiveness associated with Aries because the Aries is the first sign of the zodiac and they represent birth. And I have a book, Linda Goodman's Sun Signs, and this is literally a direct quote from the book. Like the infant, Aries is concerned with the world only as it relates to himself. And I feel like when you get a really Aries person, it's like they're not being mean. They're not being vengeful. They're not trying to hurt you. They're just literally not thinking about you.
It's like they're oblivious.
I think there's this obliviousness there where they're like, they're just doing their thing for themselves, and then they're like there's some destruction in their path that they're not literally not noticing. So they're not like evil, they're not like out to get you, but they might hurt you because they're just going along doing their thing.
Yeah, it's like a one-track mind kind of thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I don't know, that's kind of how I think of them. I
wouldn't fit the twins in that category though.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think the twins are much more observant about things. Like they do a lot of things for Harry that they notice about him, and they're very caring of Harry. They're actually the first people in the books to meet Harry. Like they help him put his trunk in the train, and they're the first to realize who he is when he like is going to school and everything. So I don't know. I don't really like, I think it's just a purely like an April Fool's thing for them.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think James, like you said, I think especially when he's younger, he's just like doing his thing. He's a Quidditch star. He's super like self-absorbed, and he wants Lily Evans. And then I think he has to kind of be like humbled and realize he needs to like be a better person.
Yeah, for her, like to get her. And that's what like, yeah. But it's funny because it's like, I think Lily saw that the entire time, and she was like, you're a bully. Like, I don't want to be with you, you know? So I wish we got more of their story, like how that really like changed, you know?
Yeah, because there's really a gap where we don't see the change in him, and when they start dating and all of that, we don't really get like insight into that. But yeah, do you want to know your Aries crushes?
Yeah.
Okay, so first one is Charlie Hunnam from like Sons of Anarchy and The Gentleman. I think he was the one that was supposed to play Christian Grey originally.
Oh, okay. Yes.
He was born April 10th, 1980. And then I only have one other one for Aries is Chris Wood from Vampire Diaries, who plays Kai. He's also in Supergirl.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely also one of yours, right?
Okay, let's remember that one episode we were watching together and you like audibly gasped when he came on the screen. Yeah,
I audibly gasped when he came on the screen because he was so cute.
Yes.
That does sound like me. He looks like a freaking superhero sometimes to me. Like, I don't know, I feel like he could be like in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And so that means you gotta be pretty handsome, right?
Like yeah, you're definitely.
Like textbook, like Chris Evans kind of esque.
I can see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
And his birthday is April 14th, 1988, if anyone's interested. But yeah, that's all I have for Aries.
Everyone's interested.
Just in case, go look it up.
Yeah, if you don't know what that man... Hey, let me do you a favor. If you don't know what that man looks like, go look it up.
Yeah, go watch like the scenes between like him and Bonnie in the Vampire Diaries and tell me there's not something there.
Oh my god, yeah, very cute.
Okay, next is Leo. I feel like we've already like talked a little bit about Leo because some of the main characters. We're getting into some of the real characters here.
Leos, their symbol is a lion. The birth dates are July 23rd through August 22nd. Their traits are creative, generous, and domineering. The Harry Potter characters, there's a fair amount. There's actually a lot. So Neville Longbottom, July 30th. Harry Potter, July 31st. Ginny Weasley, August 11th. Celestina Warbeck, August 18th. And then Tina Goldstein, August 19th. Very fun. I just want to point out right away that Harry and Ginny are both Leos, which is very interesting to me.
Yeah, I don't know about Ginny with a Leo. I mean, I think it kind of makes sense. But
I think honestly it makes more sense than Harry. Like I mean based on these three traits that we're talking about, right? Creative, generous, domineering. I would say Harry is generous. He's creative, but he's more, I would say, more like quick-witted. He's creative in his solution problem solving. But I wouldn't say he's like an artist or like this amazing like creative genius. You know what I mean? I think he's creative in his solutions, but that's about it. And in no way is he domineering.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think Leos are very associated with being extroverted, proud, vain, like when you're thinking about the person that needs to be in the spotlight, that's typically like the Leo.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And that's why I said earlier, I see certain things in Harry that are Leo, but others I do not. I do not think, obviously we know he hates the spotlight. He hates being like the center of attention. And he's not very like loud. Like until you know him, he's not a very like loud personality. Like he's gonna walk into a room and see what other people are doing, not be like, "Hey guys, I'm here." You know what I mean? Like, which I think other people do.
Yeah, I think his pride is shown kind of in a different way. I mean, Barty Crouch Jr., disguised as Moody, literally calls him out on this, of him having this like pride weakness, which is a very typical like main character weakness, right? But like a good example of the pride thing with Harry, I think, is when he is in the Triwizard Tournament, he doesn't ask anyone and everyone for help. Like, you gotta survive underwater, and you're just like, you just talk to Ron and Hermione and like try to look things up in books, and you're not like, you're not going out of your way to talk to other people, or like Neville had a book in your very dormitory. You could have talked to Neville and gotten a solution, but you didn't, like, so I think, but I do think that like his whole not asking for help thing, I don't know if that's like so much a pride thing. I think it's more he's conditioned by the Dursleys.
I was literally about to say, I think he's so used to being independent and like alone. I was just about to say, does he even think to ask for help though? It's not like he thinks like, oh, let me ask Neville, but like, oh, no, he wouldn't help me, or like, I don't need his help or whatever. It's not.
It doesn't even occur to him.
It doesn't occur to him to ask for help because he's just conditioned to never receive help. Which is actually very sad.
Yeah, and I think that's what he's just used to, like, I gotta solve this stuff on my own. And even like I think Dumbledore kind of creates that sort of environment for him. But so I think that's the big explanation for why throughout the books he just like is never asking for help, or very rarely asking for help. More so than like the pride thing. But I do think he has a little bit of like pride, moments and things about him where he doesn't want to be embarrassed. He doesn't want to be in the spotlight for something bad, and is like a little bit, it really hurt when like the Daily Prophet is writing all this bad stuff about him and everyone thinks he's wrong. He's very like, well, they'll see in the end, like, that I was right. And, but yeah, I don't know. He's kind of an interesting one.
Yeah. But even like when they're writing those articles and stuff about him, he obviously gets really frustrated with it, but he's not like he's like, they'll see. Like he's like more like, oh yeah, this is annoying, and like I'm not even gonna bother to correct this narrative because I know I'm right. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
So in that way he's prideful.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned Ginny. Definitely Ginny, like, if you just watch the movies, you're going to be like, she's not a Leo at all. But if you read the books, she's
100% a Leo.
She's way more extroverted.
Yes, yeah. And I do think she's creative. Like, I think in the creative sense, I think it's like, how she does like bat boogie hexes. She's like apparently the best at like casting spells, and like she has very strong wand work, I guess, is how you would say that. And I do think like she comes up with like creative solutions to problems in a way that's like, I don't know, she's quick to like share them too. Like the bat boogie hex is like literally all of her brothers. She has 6 brothers and they are terrified of her. The littlest sister, like she's the youngest one and she's the girl, and they're all scared of her because of how creative she can be with her spells and like getting revenge on them.
Yeah, so they don't want to mess with her. And there's one of my favorite scenes that's in the books that gets left out of the movies is when she talks with Harry, and Harry's like, there's no way to talk to Sirius. This is during the Umbridge times in book 5, and he's like, there's no way to talk to Sirius, and he's all bummed out. And then Ginny says, growing up with Fred and George, you realize that anything's possible if you've got enough nerve. And then she goes to Fred and George and tries to get them to like do a distraction for him so he can go talk to Sirius in the fire and stuff. So like, she doesn't look at it like there's no way out. She finds a solution. Or she and Neville and Luna tried to steal this sort of Gryffindor for Harry when they're in school. So
yeah,
in her job, she goes on to be a professional Quidditch player, which is a job that's very much like in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely the generous and domineering, I would see. She is domineering.
Yeah, she's
She
a
wears
strong
the pants in that
personality.
relationship.
She
Let's just say
does.
that.
She does.
Yeah.
Like Harry likes that she's not emotional like Cho.
Mm-hmm.
She's, tougher, growing up with brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And then the way she's described in the books, in the later books, like book 6 is a big one where Harry's like crushing on her from afar, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And she is like the life of the Quidditch team. Like she's the one making all the jokes and like
Mm-hmm.
everyone's laughing around her. Like she is like main character energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I love about the books and like their relationship is you even get it now like doing rereads, even in like I think third year or like or was that no because that would have been her first year. So I think it's the third book, Prisoner of Azkaban, where she starts to kind of be a little bit more comfortable around Harry, and to where she's like not as much like having a crush on him, or she's just like not as quiet around him, and she starts having like a really big personality, and it's very obviously even from a young age Harry thinks she's like funny. Like it's noted like in all the books that like anytime Ginny comes in and like has something to say, Harry always likes what she has to say. It's always either an opinion that agrees with, or he like laughs at like her comment or her joke or her teasing her brothers and stuff like that. So I think it's funny because Harry has always like liked who she is as a person.
Yeah. So I think that tracks for her. Celestina Warbeck is just a funny one because she's like that singer that is on the radio that Molly loves. And so that tracks for being like a singer and a celebrity, right? Being like a Leo. Tina Goldstein obviously nods to Fantastic Beasts, but I feel like I don't really like know her well enough to speak on that.
Yeah. I would say she kind of fits in Leo. She's not as loud as most Leos, but she would fit into the category based on traits.
Yeah. Who we really, I think, should talk about is Neville Longbottom. Him being a Leo and having a birthday right next to Harry is very interesting. I have some thoughts on it, but what do you think?
It's hard because I definitely don't think he fits fully into the Leo category. Like it's not like I'm like, yeah, he's a gung-ho Leo just like Ginny, right? I think that he can be very, I don't know, that's like when he does break out of his shell though, he's like kind of in the 7th book, he is like, you find out that he's kind of like leading the charge back at Hogwarts for like the rebellion, and like he he really steps up, I think, when he's older. I think he had a really rough like getting there journey, but I think starting when he joins the Order of the Phoenix, I think the Order of the Phoenix is when he starts to kind of really break into that of like, hey, I actually have a voice and I can use it, and he becomes domineering in that sense where he's like leading others to join this cause and like do the right thing. So it's like I think that eventually he gets there. We don't see a lot of it from the beginning, but I still don't believe he would fit into the Leo category. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that was my initial thought, what you said as well. Like him in this book 7, he's standing up for younger kids, he's taking the lead. Would very much, I think Leos I think of as being like almost opposite of Aquarius. Like Aquarius signs don't mind being weird and being like, people make fun of them, they're just like, whatever, I am who I am. But I think he's not like Luna. Like he is bothered by people teasing him in 7 Draco. And there's a couple hints early on, like for example, Draco and Crabbe and Goyle are teasing him and giving him a hard time. And then Ron and Harry say, like, you got to stand up to him. And then he, like, physically fights Crabbe and Goyle at one of the Quidditch matches. And that was, like, book 1 or 2. So, and then he stands up to them in book 1 with standing up to Harry, Ron, and Hermione and saying, like, no, you're not going to go out and lose us points again. So there's these little moments of, like, little bravery and standing up and kind of, like, being more outspoken. But yeah, like you said, I think he like has some time finding his way.
Yeah, I forgot about that part with Crabbe and Goyle.
Yeah, it's like a little scene. I can't remember if it's book 1 or 2. It's like very early on, and yeah, he like tries to take on Crabbe and Goyle like by himself, and there's another scene. Now that I'm thinking about it, there's another scene, and I think it's book 5 or something when Draco is teasing Harry and makes some comment about people in St. Mungo's, like, as a jab at Harry. And then Neville tries to fight him, and Harry and Ron, like, have to hold him back.
Yeah, and that's what you find out. That's because of his mom.
Yeah.
And that's, like, why. Yeah.
So, I don't know. And obviously he takes he's the one that stands up after Harry dies. He's the one that stands up to Voldemort. True. So there's definitely, he has these moments.
Yeah. I think he's a lot more nervous, but he can have some of these traits.
Yeah. He's an interesting one for that. So for your crushes, I will have like a kind of one. So the birthday's not confirmed, but Cassian from ACOTAR, fans commonly believe that he is a Leo. So I put him in there. Okay, should we talk about Sagittarius?
So Sagittarius, their sign is the Archer. The birth dates are November 22nd through December 21st. Their traits are adventurous, honest, and tactless. The Harry Potter characters are, I don't even know how to say this, and I'm quite honest with you, I don't know who this is. Sylvanus Kettleburn.
He's one of the professors. Yeah, we don't have to talk about him, but yeah.
Bill Weasley, November 29th. Rubeus Hagrid, December 6th. And Charlie Weasley, December 12th.
Yes. I think of this sign. Isn't Sagittarius, I know they're the Archer, aren't they kind of associated with centaurs as well? Or maybe I'm making that up. Like, I think of a centaur like archery.
It's like hold on, let me look up that, because I think they are the centaur. Yep. And because it's the centaur has like a bow and arrow.
Okay.
So that's what the Archer is.
Yeah, things I wrote down for this sign were tactless, innocent, cheerful, optimistic, restless, animal lovers, and attracted to danger. I think this tracks for the Harry Potter characters that we have, right? Like Bill Weasley, Hagrid, and Charlie. Maybe, I guess all three of them they definitely all seem like Sagittarius to me, like more adventurous, more associated with danger. Charlie and Hagrid are very much associated as being like animal lovers, like work with animals or, fantastic beasts. And Hagrid is definitely known for being a little bit like tactless, I guess you'd say, or like he accidentally says things or, can say things that come off as a little mean, but he's not really like meaning them to be mean.
I see Bill in some ways being a Sagittarius, because I think he can be honest and I think he can be adventurous. Tactless, I don't really know. I wouldn't agree with that.
Yeah, but maybe not so much for him.
We don't really get a lot of Bill. That's the thing. It's like we get a lot later, like when he's marrying Fleur and then they're helping Harry. So I wouldn't say he's tactless because he does help Ron and he, kind of tells Ron what he should be doing.
I think that Bill is very much looked up to by his younger siblings. Like the way Ginny talks about him, it's like, oh, well, Bill wouldn't like that or something. Like he's like a standard by which I think they kind of like hold themselves to. He's definitely smart. The hints that we get about Bill, like he's involved with the Order of the Phoenix, he's intelligent, he works for Gringotts, he's a curse breaker, and he understands goblins. And he's the one that gives us a lot of information about goblins and how they operate from working with them. And like, advises Harry about his dealings with Griphook and even like you said, when Ron leaves Harry and Hermione, he goes to Bill and Bill kind of takes him in, but also isn't like giving him a break about leaving them. So I think he's definitely a deep character, but we just don't get that much of him because he's just not like a main character in this story.
Yeah.
Hagrid, I feel like, is a total Sagittarius. Like he definitely has that like innocent, cheerful, optimistic. Like he has an outside job. I think of
Sagittarius. I'd say so.
Right? Like they can't be. I think of them as like not wanting to be like nailed down.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Not like being nailed down.
Yeah, like they want to have a little adventure in their life. They want to like be able to explore a little bit.
Yeah.
Like
Interesting. And
Charlie
then
goes to
Charlie, for
Romania.
sure. Like Charlie, yeah. Charlie, I would say, is a Sagittarius, even though we don't know as much about him. But yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, like he works with dragons. He goes to Romania. He could be a pro Quidditch player, but he's like, nah, I just like dragons, so I'll just like go do that.
Yeah, yeah. Who is Sylvanus Kettleburn?
He's a professor. I think there's more about him maybe in like the Harry Potter ethos than there is like in the actual books.
Okay, yeah. Because I'm like, why was he
Yeah, so we
included?
don't have to like talk about him. I do. The one thing I did want to mention about Hagrid that I thought was interesting is Hagrid has a tense relationship with the centaurs for a number of reasons. And I feel like he makes a lot of comments about them being like heads in the stars, like you can't get a clear answer from them, frustrated with them. And he yells at them. He actually like yells at the centaurs when after he thinks Harry dies for not being involved in the war and not like stepping up. He's like, look what you did, basically. So it's funny that he's a Sagittarius and like his sign is a centaur.
Yeah,
isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it is. But again, I don't think J.K. Rowling thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your Sagittarius crush is Ian Somerhalder. I know we did Damon Salvatore as a fictional character, but Ian Somerhalder from Lost and Vampire Diaries that plays Damon Salvatore, he was born on December 8th, 1978. So he's a Sagittarius.
Amazing. What is Paul Wesley?
I don't know. I know you're like a little bit of a Stefan hater, so I don't know if I put him in here.
I'm a Stefan hater. I'm not a Paul Wesley hater.
True. Okay, let me look real quick.
Paul Wesley is more of a Damon.
Personality in real life, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
His birthday is July 23rd, 1982.
Oh, is that a Cancer? Wait. Okay, no. He's
a
Leo. On the cusp. He's a Leo, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's on the cusp, so that, again, makes that tracks ruin my life.
A little close, yeah. Okay, that brings us to Earth signs. So the Earth signs, according to astrology.com, are dependable, practical, and conservative, yet fairly materialistic. They have their feet on the ground, but their eyes on the prize, is how they describe them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And definitely, as you mentioned before, I think Earth is very much associated with like structure and being solid and dependable. Like these signs definitely track for that, I feel.
Yes, yeah.
So first one is Taurus. That's the bull. It's April 20th to May 20th. And traits are reliable, practical, stubborn. Harry Potter characters are Horace Slughorn, which is April 28th. Victor, I don't know how to say this name really. Victoria Weasley, which is Bill and Fleur's child, is May 2nd. And then Professor Pomona Sprout is May 15th. I think of Taurus as being like very stubborn, stoic, like calm and collected. They're like very like persistent. They're like the consistent people over time. They do have their like blow ups where they're like if they get mad, once the needle breaks the like back kind of, or what is it? The
thing that broke the camel's back?
Yeah, like once there's like a little thing that finally sets them off, they're like scary and they can have like outbursts. But I think in general, they're just very like stoic and consistent.
And I also think it takes a lot for them to get to that point.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, because I think as soon as something, for the Tauruses that I know in my life, it's like as soon as something like starts to bother them, they're like, well, that's annoying. I'm going to stop thinking about that.
Yeah.
And they move on and do their own thing until it's like so big that they can't ignore it. And then they're like, yeah, very much like hating what the situation.
Yeah, like think of a bull. Like you don't want to be attacked by a bull. You kind of want to let them be doing their own thing and being themselves. You don't want to be charged by one. I don't know about the characters. I mean, I said before, I think McGonagall fits into this category. I think Slughorn, I don't think it seems like a Taurus to me. He seems more like calculating and maybe a little bit like frivolous to be a Taurus to me.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
He's too busy like wheeling and dealing and like making connections and I don't know about
I
him.
think I would say he's more of an Aries where he's like kind of one track mind, don't care about other people. I'm going to do my own thing. So I would say he fits more into being an Aries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like I would say he's practical in the sense that he's having to avoid, which goes back into the Taurus kind of thing. I'm going to avoid this so it's not my problem right now.
Mm-hmm.
He like avoids running like the Death Eaters from by like going into all these different people's houses and making it look like they were like ransacked or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like he's like this large elaborate scheme is very practical, right? And then when he's offered the job at Hogwarts, he's like, oh, okay, well I'm gonna take this teaching job so I can stop running from the Death Eaters, and that's very practical.
It's like a safe,
And it's
practical
very,
choice, yeah.
yes, and it's very like avoidant almost. So it's like in that way I can see him having some Taurus in him.
Yeah. I think Bill and Fleur's kid, we just don't know enough about.
Yeah.
We barely get like mentions at the very, very end in the epilogue.
Which funny, she ends up with Teddy, I think, right?
Yes.
Teddy Lupin.
They
Yeah.
end up together, yeah. And then Professor Sprout, I think really this leans into like the earthy, like being of the ground. And she does seem like a very consistent professor. Like she's just doing her thing and she's just like, she's reliable. She's not missing any classes. She's also the head of house for Hufflepuff, which Hufflepuff is more like more associated with being like grounded. Their common room is like underground, right? They're more like of the earth.
Yeah.
So I guess that tracks for her. Do you want to know your crushes? There's some big ones on here.
Well, I know the biggest one, Joe Keery.
So definitely Joe Keery, Steve from Stranger Things, is April 24th, 1992. Oh, I put his age in here for some reason. He's 30.
Let's not leave it at just Steve from Stranger Things.
Okay, fair. He's probably
chart-topping artist, musician.
True. And he's been in like a lot of other movies and shows and things too. I feel like I just saw like a trailer for him in something else.
You know what? I need to watch his season of Fargo because everybody tells me he just plays such a different character in that. And it's like I've seen clips and he's like this super like hard ass cop. And I'm like,
yes, okay, that's what I saw. And I was like, this is so different. I also loved him from the get-go. I loved him as Steve. Like season 1, I just thought his character was so interesting from the beginning. His character
changes a lot.
Yeah. I just really liked him. So, but also, according to the fandom, Steve Harrington was born on April 29th, 1966, making him also a Taurus.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, it's funny because there's actually some debate. I don't think Joe Keery has ever confirmed his like real birthday. So we actually don't know if it's the 24th or the 25th of April. I think we celebrate, we say it's the 24th or something, but it could be another day. Like no one's ever confirmed it.
Okay, do you want to talk about Virgo? We have 2 signs left, Virgo and then Capricorn. So Virgos are the Virgin. It's August 23rd through September 22nd. Traits: analytical, hardworking, and critical. And the Harry Potter characters that fall in this category are Dolores Umbridge, which is August 26th. Hermione Granger, September 19th. And then Percy Weasley, I put him on Virgo. His birthday's August 22nd, which is right on that cusp. So he would be either a Leo or a Virgo. Some people might argue that he's a Leo, but I really think that he feels more like Virgo to me.
I was about to say, I think personality-wise, he definitely fits Virgo. Who does not fit on this goddamn list is Umbridge.
Umbridge, I can see it from the, like, she holds on to rules and paperwork like it's like
gospel.
It's gospel. And she's just like very like, we have to be structured, we have to follow the rules. And she literally like will not understand how people will operate, and like she'll ban something because she's like, oh, if it's banned, no one will read it. But it's like everyone will read it if it's banned. She like doesn't understand concepts that go outside of like rules and structure.
Okay, well, like when you put it like that, okay, I can see it. but I don't think she's very like grounded, you know? Like I think she can be crazy. I think she's like kind of like fantastical sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, there's like a huge thing in like the fandom that's like, oh, Umbridge would like be Voldemort's like she's kind of like a Bellatrix of the other side. Like to where it's like
Yeah.
she would like be so intensely loyal to like Voldemort or I mean like kind of how we saw with Crouch, like
Yeah, like Barty Crouch Sr. and her are like Voldemort and Bellatrix and like the Ministry.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, so she's kind of a weird one. And she's also like very like fussy and prissy. I would describe her
mhm.
as dogmatic. Like hardworking, maybe not so much, but she is like trying to climb the government ladder. Like she's probably trying to become Minister of Magic. Like she is all about that. But, you know, she definitely gives Virgos a bad name. So don't think of Virgos as being Umbridge.
Yeah.
Hermione is an interesting Virgo. She, you know, you might think of her as a rule follower, but she very specifically breaks a lot of rules.
She does it for the greater good though. It's always like to yeah. Which I think could be she's very grounded in like what's happening and like what like you know what needs to be done.
Yeah.
So
Other things I wrote down for a Virgo were like intelligent, serious, introverted, critical, and impatient with carelessness and laziness, which I do think those things track for Hermione. And she is more serious. Like of the people, when we talk about people joking, like Ron or Ginny or the twins, like Hermione's not a big joker, right? Like, not that she doesn't have a sense of humor. She obviously appreciates Ron, but she's not the one that's going to be like making the jokes in the group, right?
Yeah. And I think she can be very critical. Like she's always critical of like Harry and Ron, even just like throughout school of like how they should be doing stuff. Like they describe her as like a nagger, you know, that she nags them a lot.
Yes, she gets them homework journals that like reminds them when to do their homework.
And it's just funny because I think there was a comment that was like, which is like baffling because it's like, why would they, if they can't even look at their homework, why would they look at their journal?
Yeah. Like they're really going to use this journal.
Yeah.
And she was very upset when they were like making up predictions for Trelawney's assignment. Like she wants to do things the right way. She is more serious and very hardworking. Would definitely like apply to her.
Yeah.
I think she is a Virgo. Like I think this sign tracks for her personality.
I do agree that I agree. I honestly think she could kind of go into the Capricorn category, but it was definitely a Virgo.
Yeah.
And then Percy, interesting. I do think he would be an Earth sign, but I just don't know. Yeah, tell me your thoughts about that.
So my thoughts about Percy, and obviously for movie watchers, a lot of this is going to go over your head because like Percy has way more of an arc like in the books.
Oh my God. The fact that he's like pretty much like estranged from the family in the books and like that, yeah, that's like a huge thing.
Yeah, and him eventually coming back around, you know, rejoining the Order of the Phoenix and fighting on their side. So I think Percy, the people that would argue that Percy is a Leo, I think I can kind of see it because he's like has this pridefulness and he's like literally in the first book before they even get on the train, he's putting his uniform on and putting his like prefect badge.
His prefect badge.
Yes, he's very about his prefect badge. He becomes head boy. So I think he likes attention in the sense of, you know, and like wants to do well in the ministry. But I think he's more Virgo. Like, you think he's more like following rules and, you know, very serious about his work. Like when he does go to work for the ministry, he's always talking about the work that he's doing. And he wants to like climb the ministry ladder and, you know, do well and be like high in government. And he's very like he's on this mission to achieve this goal. But then has to kind of realize that the ministry is corrupt and his family was kind of right.
I don't know. I just don't have much thoughts. I feel like I think he has traits of both because of kind of the situation, like what you're saying. Like, I think almost like before he turned on his family, he had very Leo energy. And then after he turned on his family, he had very Virgo energy. And then he eventually reverts back. I also like think about he kind of wasn't really acting as much Virgo during the Battle of Hogwarts. Spoiler alert, Fred dies. And like that. I remember that being like a huge scene because isn't he there whenever
Yeah,
Fred
because
dies?
literally right before that happens,
They make up, right, or something,
yeah,
or he
like
like
he
comes.
comes back and apologizes to the whole family, and then he's fighting alongside the twins and the like
Harry,
current minister of magic
yeah,
that's like working with the Death Eaters. He says something to him, like makes a joke, like I guess I should tell you I'm resigning, and then Fred laughs and is like, "Oh, you're like making a joke, Percy," and then he dies. Like,
yeah,
so they have this like final moment together that was very much in between the two of them.
yeah. I remember Percy being like very shaken up by literally just seeing Fred die, and like I remember he was like almost inconsolable.
Yeah, I think he didn't want to leave his body.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
God.
the twins and rough scene. The twins and
Yeah.
Percy have a tense relationship where the twins are always kind of teasing Percy, and they're like the opposite. They're like the jokesters. They're not doing as well in school. Not that they're not smart or anything, but and then you have Percy who's like very rule following, trying to like be prefect, be head boy, get all his OWLs and NEWTs. And so I think they butt heads, and they're close in age, right? Like Percy's the direct older sibling above the twins.
Yeah.
So they kind of like, I think they're presented a little bit as opposites between the twins and Percy.
And like I can see them being very like, oh, he's only like our little older brother, where it's like, like they're definitely like the twins look up way more to like Bill and Charlie and stuff, but it's like they kind of skip over Percy because he's kind of close in age. And he's like they don't clash with his personality as much, or they clash with his personality a lot.
Yeah, and Charlie and Bill are a little bit more like removed. Like they're not in the house for all of this part. Like they're off, working and everything. All right, should we go last one, Capricorn?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a big one. This is my sign, so I obviously like love Capricorn. I think it's the best sign. Capricorn, I mean, it's literally the goat. The goat is the is the symbol for Capricorn.
Hey, you're very much reading this like a Capricorn. So
it's December 22nd through January 19th. The traits are disciplined, responsible, and unforgiving. The Harry Potter characters are Severus Snape, which is January 9th, Voldemort, which is December 31st, and then Queenie Goldstein, which is January 6th. So Queenie, I feel like I have not so much to say, but like Severus and Voldemort, these are like the two of the biggest characters in this series and the most like instrumental to where the plot goes and key plot points, right?
And I do agree that J.K. Rowling probably thought about these two.
Yeah, there was probably some thought that went into these two. Because, like I said at the top, I think an argument could be made, or people at the surface might be like, oh, Snape's a Gemini because he's like the double agent and stuff. But I think there's a lot that makes him make sense as a Capricorn. So what are your thoughts?
I would not say he's Gemini at all.
Yeah.
I do think it's Capricorn. I think a big thing here is kind of like the unforgiving and kind of like saying what needs to be said, doing what needs to be done even if people don't like you. Like that's what I think like is definitely, Snape in a nutshell, right? He's the double agent. He is, sacrificing a lot. And it's funny because you realize he's sacrificing a lot because of this intense, deep loyalty to Lily and to his feelings. And that's what I do think. I agree with that as well as Capricorn. Like, because I think I mentioned this on the phone the other day, how you, as a Capricorn, you very much like, you will say what needs to be said to like your friend. But if it's someone you don't really care about, like you could care less about convincing them of a point and you're just going to say it and move on. Like you're going to be like, well, that's wrong because of this, but I'm not going to fight to like get you to see my point of view. And I think when you really care about someone, you bring up, here's a detailed list of A through Z of everything why I think this is the way that it is.
Let me tell you everything you did wrong.
Exactly. Let me tell you, here's my thoughts, here's your thoughts, and here's what could have happened. And here's how I see this situation. And yeah. And so in summary, you shouldn't think that.
Yeah. I mean, other things I wrote down for Capricorns were serious, capable, unassuming, unemotional, which I think that kind of goes into some things you said, And then climbers, ambitious. I think the cliche of Capricorns, you know, like we all have the cliche of Leos, or that they have to be the center of attention, whatever. The cliche, like, assumed thing about Capricorns, I think, is that they're like obsessed with money. I feel like it's like a common thing. Like people are like, oh, Capricorns, they're like the people that are like the corporate whatever. But I think it's less about money. It's more about stability.
Well, we've talked about this, and I don't think I think you're unemotional in the sense that like you're looking at the logistics of a situation, but also I do not think you're emotional. I think you're sentimental. I think you very much like you do have feelings.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, contrary to popular belief, you do have feelings, Rene. But I think you don't always like share those feelings, and I think that it's more like for yourself, right? Like the feelings that you have, you're like, oh, that made me feel good. You know, that's like very sweet, and I'm not gonna ever express that to anybody, but I know that
I know that to myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that to myself, but I know that you are that way, right?
Well, I think about the unemotional part with like, well, definitely Voldemort, right? There's like, I mean, not that he's like, he gets upset about things, but the like love and consideration for others is not even considered. And Snape is doing all of this stuff and dealing with all this stuff quietly and not telling everyone, well, this is what I'm doing, you know, behind the scenes. And he literally is like, both of them are masters of occlumency and legilimency. And that's how Snape is really able to get around Voldemort, is just because part of it, like that they describe in the books when Harry's learning occlumency, is that you have to shut down your emotions. You have to be unemotional. And that's something that Harry really struggles with. But Snape is able to do that. And Voldemort is able to do that, right?
Yeah. I think like even to be like good at those skills or to master those skills, you either need to be Auror trained, like trained as an Auror, or you probably need to be a Capricorn.
That's it too.
So, yeah, those are two. You get to skip that step in training if you're a Capricorn.
Yes. Yeah, that's like you get the unfair advantage. Something that I thought was very interesting as applying to Snape and Voldemort is this quote from this book, Linda Goodman's Sun Signs. I was looking at this for all of these signs. And this is a quote from the book that's talking about Capricorns, right? It's, everyone in the group will seem to have superior equipment for the race, any race. Lots of them are bluffing, some of them are afraid, but they're all highly polished. And the Capricorn doesn't seem to have a chance against them, yet he will win. And I thought that was very, very interesting because Snape comes from like a poor family and he's a half-blood. Voldemort comes from a Muggle orphanage. So I think like the broader wizarding world really underestimates them when they're younger. And then they turn out to be two of the most powerful wizards. And Snape really won, you know, like I know he gets killed, but he like, you know, ends up kind of beating Voldemort in a lot of things that he did. And then Voldemort is consistently, you know, you might not like him, but he's consistently having good strategies and succeeding despite setbacks and like working around those things when he does have a setback or a challenge or something.
Yeah. So I just kind of want to delve into the Voldemort part of it all a little bit more about. I do think he's unforgiving, and like kind of comparing him and Snape, it's like Snape can be more of like I would say like the positive Capricorn, right? What people like I feel like you represent like a positive kind of Capricorn of like, sure, you have all these like things where you can be very critical or like unemotional and like logistic about things, but you do it in a you're a good person, right? I think Voldemort represents the worst of Capricorns, which is like a lot of the like negative traits of like unforgiving in the way that's like he's going to kill anybody who like, you know, even if they served him and they do one thing wrong, he's like, you're disposable to him.
Yeah.
I think he's very disciplined in the way of like, no matter what, he's not going to let any sort of love into his life of like, you know, because even at the end when Harry is like trying to convince him like, feel guilty for the people that you killed. I want you to like almost like redeem yourself and like show remorse. But Voldemort is so far gone that he's not going to ever do that. And I even like Harry trying to get him to, right? Like that's like shows a lot about Harry's character. And the fact that, you know, Voldemort, no matter what, he's on a mission to like kill all muggles and like be the ruler. So it's like he's going to be very relentless in that mission and have no emotion on how he's going to get there except for triumph and pride.
Mm-hmm. I think there's like something actually physically wrong with him because he's born out of a love potion usage and stuff. So I think he's like physically incapable of love, is my opinion. But, you know, and that's why he can like never feel remorse and just doesn't seem to like feel the full range of human emotion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he definitely represents what it would look like if you just care, you're just on your ambition and you just care about success and you don't like, you just let everything else fall to the wayside kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
But very interesting. Maybe J.K. Rowling has like a negative opinion of Capricorns. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the last sign. So that wraps up for at least all the people that we know that have confirmed birthdays from the Harry Potter universe. There's a lot of big characters that don't have confirmed birthdays, like we talked about, or Dumbledore. So it's interesting. Like I know people like come up with what they think people would be, and some of these even like we said, I don't think they necessarily fit in the ones they're put in anyway.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate and subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening.
Until next episode, happy reading, happy listening, and may you, like the centaurs, divine your future from the stars.